change the way New Year resolutions has been working in your life, I have a tip for you. So, hi, I am Indian. I'm a psychologist and a neuroscience major. I have been working with innovation and science to help people achieve their goals and also perform better. So, a little bit about today, as you already know, that we are going to dive a little bit about how we can improve our lives and make New Year resolution something that's more fun and not something that we hate by the end of the year, right? So, to give you a context, where is this coming from? I started New Year resolutions, I think, in my late teens or something, and I used to put everything that's under the bucket, like get fit or, get that grade or get that education, whatever it is that I used to put it under the bracket. And I say this year is my year. And every year, by the end, I think by mid-January or February, I think I kind of lose it and then I'm off my goals again. And New Year resolutions is a scam, that I know that's what people have been feeling. And I thought I wanted to make people's life better because I kind of found a hack, I would say, which I'll share with you, which has been working so perfectly for the last 5, 6 years for me. And this is something that has helped me achieve all my goals. So one of the major goals I had with education was I wanted to get a proper abroad education in the UK or the US. And I think that has been something that I've been working for the last 2 years. And last year I finished my course and I came back to India. And I think this is all because of my tip of how I plan my life and I plan my year. Right? So let me give you a context. For example, where is this coming from? One is, of course, my degree in Masters in Clinical Psychology and Neuroscience kind of helped me to understand who I am, how to look at a problem, why things are not working, how to make things work, right? So that has been something that has helped me from my education. The second thing is, there's always an aspect of how you see things, how you frame your life, how you develop it. For example, if I want to buy something, say I want to buy a dress, that idea of wanting to buy a dress comes from somewhere. Maybe I saw it online, maybe I saw it in a friend, maybe I saw it in a movie, maybe something that came up in my feed. It is always something that is inspired, and then we think that we need to do that, right? But then when, for example, I buy the same dress a person is wearing and I try to wear it and see, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Right? Because it's made for them. It's not made for me. It fits their body size and their height and their weight and the way they are. It fits them. It doesn't fit me. Right? So in anything that we get inspired, even for our bucket list, even for the New Year resolutions, even for the goals, it is always being inspired, sometimes most often imposed. Right? And that kind of creates you would say, a pressure or a inability to fit in, right? So a New Year resolution somewhere screams at us and says, you are not perfect and you won't be able to achieve this, which is your goal. You won't be able to achieve that. So it kind of is sort of tells us a negative communication or a negative voice that it has, saying it's very impossible to achieve that. Right? But I have a certain mindset that I want you to take forward for this New Year resolutions and for the New Year is that one question you ask yourself is that you sit by the end of the year, ask yourself, what kind of a person you have been in 2025. What kind of a friend you were, what kind of a professional you were, say you're a bank manager, what kind of a manager you were, and what kind of a career, you know, upliftment or things that you achieved as a manager, what kind of a mother you were, and what kind of person you are. Were you more kind? Were you living according to how you want to live? Say you want to be someone who is more kind, or you want to be someone who's more confident. Were you that person this year, 2025? And then you sit with that and you ask yourself the next question: what kind of a person you want to become in 2026? So, New Year resolutions are not a set of to-do lists that we have to check off, but rather a person we are building ourselves to be, to become in the new year, right? So that person you're going to carry forward to the next year is going to be a much better person by the end of 2026. And then you will ask the same question and improve yourself step by step, right? But what happens, what's the main problem with this New Year resolutions is because we have a set format that we have seen others doing and we want to also use that in our own lives. But it's just that it's not the same mold, right? It is the way that you mold this will mold your life in a better way, right? So here is the part where I give you the thing that changed my life. I've been doing for the last 5 years and it's been amazing. So you will see in the screen how I've been doing this whole plan, right? So I will be showing how it is done. Before that, what changed? One book which I read, which is called written by Gaur Gopal Das in his book called Life's Amazing Secret. So in the first page, he mentions about a car analogy, which is very simple, very not very complicated, not very fancy, not very philosophical. Just a car analogy changed my life. So what this analogy says? So he says, compares our life to a car. You know how a car has four wheels, and these wheels kind of denote four areas of our life. So first wheel, he says, is our personal life. Personal life is something that I am. I want to improve. It doesn't pay me money. It doesn't give me any pleasure. I mean, it doesn't give me any approval or validation from people. It gives me a personal satisfaction about who I am becoming. For example, last year my personal goals were something like I wanted to try, makeup. That's something that I've not done. I wanted to try because I'm a girl and I want to try makeup. Then I wanted to learn chess or any embroidery or new skills I wanted to learn. That's my personal pleasure. Nothing. It doesn't pay me. It doesn't mean anything. Then I wanted to eat a more anti-inflammatory diet. So basically something that helps me to fight illnesses. And another personal goal is I wanted to build endurance. I wanted to build stamina. So that's by running or by playing sports or something like that. So all of this for my personal goals. So personal goals also can be about your character building. So to be assertive. For example, something for New Year I have is to people to say no to people, at the same time to learn to talk to people. That's something that I wanted to learn in this New Year. So it can be anything about your character. It can be anything about your body self, which is your mental health. Maybe you want to improve your anxiety, manage your anxiety. It can be anything. You want to set boundaries in your relationship. You want to say no in relationship. That could be something that you can do for the New Year in the personal goals, right? So you understand what personal goals is, right? So it's something that's for you. You get the satisfaction, you get the pleasure out of it, and you become a better person. That's it. The second way we compare it is to a professional, areas. Professional can be, it doesn't matter if you're a homemaker, you can be a better mother, you can better manage your children's tantrums, maybe you can better manage your own anxiety in parenting, and you can probably better, as a career woman, you want to get an education or you want to get back into the career after being a mother. So these are something that you can set yourself for the new year. So that is your professional area. So where I can improve professionally as Say, for example, I wanted to do some courses in coding or editing. I wanted to do some education on reading some more business related books or productivity related books. Or I wanted to improve my actual grades, which I was doing the education for. Something like that, that will improve my professional skills, right? The third wheel talks about your social goals. So social is something that I don't know, most often some people can ignore it, some people don't. It's your family, your friends, your loved ones, your partner, your children, all of them, right? So the amount of time you want to spend with them. Maybe you don't spend enough time with your children, maybe you don't spend enough time with your parents, maybe you don't talk to your friends, your long lost friends. So these are something that you put under your social goals. Maybe you meet them once a week, or maybe even like we are going for a social get together or going to a fancy a meetup or something, or going for a common friends where you meet new friends, where you join a book club. It can be anything. It can be about making new friends or using your current friends to spend more time with them. Anything that fulfills you socially as a person, because we are all social beings. We need people in our lives, right? And the last one, the last rule talks about your spiritual goals. So here, disclaimer: you don't have to be, spiritual. You don't have to believe in God to develop this goal. So what does spiritual mean? Spiritual means it gets into a core of us, which is much more deeper than what we think. For example, this is me as a person. I'm conscious. I'm talking to all of you. This is a conscious self. But there is some sort of a soulful connection that we need to connect with us at an unconscious level. How do we develop this spirituality? One, of course, through God, through prayers, through meditation, and all of these things. If you don't believe in God, then it is also through some sort of a deeper connection. Maybe you feel the best when you, are in the nature, or when you go for a walk, or when you're with your dog, or when you're looking at clouds, or when you're, seeing the rain, or when you're seeing people having, just observing people in life. It's all part of spirituality where you are increasing the values that make us human. At the same time, it connects you to the world at a much more deeper level. That is your spirituality. I know it can be a little difficult for people who have not done this before to do it, but I would say to start something with sort of like a meditation to know who you are. The second thing you can do is sit with yourself and ask yourself about your life, questions about, reflect on why you did the way you did, or say you got angry with a friend and you sit and ask yourself what happened that time. So that is you connecting at a spiritual level to understand what's happening within you. So if you are somebody who is more prayerful, you can sit and meditate in front of God in the temple or the mosque or the church or wherever it is. You can go and sit and meditate and ask for much of a divine intervention. So whichever works for you, that's your spiritual level, right? So why did I like this analogy and how this changed my life? I started framing my life, my goals based on these four areas. So as you can see now in the screen, these are the four areas I work on, and I put my goals separately. And you can see these goals are not very big. It's very specific. For example, learning swimming is very specific, and signing up for maybe a dance class, it's very specific, or going for improving my endurance or improving my stamina, it's very specific. Your goal has to be specific because it gives a specific direction for your life, where you are going. So if you say, I want to lose weight, how you're going to lose weight is what you should write there. It's not about you having to go to the gym 30 days a month. It is about you developing that ability to go to the gym and work on your body and being able to connect with your body, being able to do something for yourself. Right? So it has to be very specific, because what happens is these thoughts have clouded us from the world around us that we have to be a certain way, but it doesn't have to be like that. Right? So you can see these are the way that I frame my goals. And what I do is, right now, initially at the start of the year, it's completely black, and I change the font. You can even do it with your journals or something, that I prefer any digital app because I can just go and change the colors. So sometimes I put an X because I couldn't do it. So one or two you couldn't do it, it's fine. But 90% or even 80% if you can finish it, which is much more great. At the same time, how does this work? Also, you need to see this every once in a while. It can be daily, monthly, weekly. It has to be seen. And after the end of 6 months, you need to revise these goals because we become different persons, right? Say I started working out and I went to the gym and I started having some other interest like playing a sport. So now my interest from gym to interest from sports is going to change. So I can change it based on that. But you cannot like take things off just because you couldn't do it, right? Just put a strike or an X so you know and you can reflect why it didn't work for you. But over the last 2 years, I have added two more because I got a little greedy. And this is skill-based goal and another is financial goal. So financial goals is something that I wanted to improve in my investments, to create a portfolio, to learn more about investments or mutual funds, about how this works and how I can invest and all of these things. Say for example, if I wanted to buy something like a phone or a laptop, so I would put under the financial goals, sort of like an investment for me. And in the skill-based goal, something that I enjoy doing last 2 years is to develop new skills in sports or doing something new. For example, I have learned embroidery or I wanted to learn to drive the car or I want to learn to swim. So these are something that I put as skill-based goals because it helps me to categorize my life and also to give me in my mind. So when you categorize it, your mind doesn't see it as a single goal, right? So say sometimes you're in life, we are in a place where we want to invest more in relationships. Sometimes we want to invest more in ourselves. So it just is very helpful in that way that you can compartmentalize your life. So example, you can go for month first 2 months just focusing on yourself. Then the next 2 months on your friendship. So it can be like that. It gives you that flexibility to compartmentalize and think in such a way and gives you that clarity, right? So this is something that I think it is going to help all of you, and I'm going to share the template in the description box below, and I believe that this is going to help you. If you have any questions or if that's any thoughts you have, any comments you have, please do say in the comments below and like my videos, share, follow, subscribe and all of those things. Okay? So of course I'm doing this for the first time and I really want to know what you all want to hear from me and how this can change your life and all of these things. So do let me know and I hope that you enjoyed this video and I'm really thankful and grateful and I wish you all a very happy new year and I hope that there's so much prosperity and so much of goodness that will come to all of you. From me to you, happy new year. Bye.